Quite the journey over the past month, but he isn't the only one who will be a hot ticket item for defensive players this season. So let's get to it. Let's rank the top 5 attractive defensive free agents on the market. A lot of which our guys played up against. D'Angelo Williams here is going to help us out here. So we have a list. We pretty much put together who we think the top guys are on defense. But
are you going to take one away from me again?
Yeah, I'm going to take away DeMarcus Lawrence because, look, we got to figure he's going to be in Dallas. So
okay,
here's what you got left. Get to it. Starting at number 5. Who do you have?
Starting at number 5. I'm going to go with my brother out of Memphis. I'm going to go with Dontari Poe. He had a down year last year. He had 2.5 sacks. He was with the Atlanta Falcons, but when we was with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that 3-4 defense is completely different from a 4-3 defense. So for the right fit, this guy right here will give you more bang for your buck than any guy up here.
You know, I like Poe. I think he can collapse the pocket from the interior, and rarely do you find a guy at 340 pounds who can play 50, 60, 70% of your snaps on defense. And Dontari Poe was one of those rare dudes. I mean, 65% of the snaps for someone of that size is very uncommon. He can do it.
Okay. Number 4, I'm going to go with Ansah Ezekiel. Playmaker last year. He made plays. I can't believe he's up. Like, why is he a free agent?
Yeah.
Why hasn't he been signed
Why didn't they let him go? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feeling that the tag is coming Ansah's way. You know, part of it is the depleted defensive end market in free agency. Otherwise, Marcus Lawrence bound for the tag. Not a great draft class for pass rushers. Saturated production last year. A lot of his sacks came in just 3 games, but you're right, a lot of the traits you need.
All right, these are the top defensive free agents. D'Angelo is ranking them 5 to 1. We're at 3.
I'm going to go number 3. I'm going Sheldon Richardson. Now, for all you fans out there, just want to make sure, he was never the problem. He'll never be the problem. He's had a lot of production since he's been on the defense side, starting with the New York Jets to being in Seattle. They got to fix that defense over there in Seattle. It's not the Legion of Boom like it used to be. So because it's a kind of turning of the guard, they're trying to figure out how they can fill some of the holes that were left out by some of the older guys. But he's definitely coming to his own, in my opinion.
There are teams around the NFL that if he was on their roster, he'd be their most talented defensive player.
Just needs to find the right fit there. All right, so we got 2.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah, a lot of guys left up here.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with Navarro Bowman. Absolutely.
How that look?
Let me light him up. Number 2. I know he came off a knee injury. He stepped in big time for the Raiders last year. Yep. He was the leader of that defense, believe it or not, with all that talent that they have over there. There's no way that they can afford to lose this guy. He came out of California from the 49ers, came over to the Raiders. A lot of people wrote him off. You know, he should have, in my opinion, at one point won the defensive player of the year. But he didn't. But how do you give up on him?
Hey, football decision could be a life decision, too. He may want to stay in the Bay Area forever.
All right, who's your number 1 there?
Okay,
Drum roll.
and this is my number 1 right here. So first of all, before I choose my number 1, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you a hint. I am not Patricia. I am not Bill Belichick. I am not Robert Kraft. And I'd be damned if I give up on you, Malcolm Butler. You are my number 1. I cannot believe you didn't play in the Super Bowl. I am pissed off because I know you would have made a difference. You would have made a difference. You're number 1 on my list because you're going to be the highest paid defensive player out of all these guys up here because you know what it takes to win. I understand that Pete Carroll made you who you are today because he decided to throw that ball on the goal line and you turned into who you are. But again, I do not give up on you. I know that you're a playmaker. You continue to make those plays and silence the noise, brother.
How much agent fee are you getting there? So I didn't realize you were representing Malcolm Butler. All right, still to come, guys.